We are live, another edition of the FTMIG on the Midas Letter Network. There's 3 of us this time.
Hello, hello.
We're growing. I don't know if that works. Greg, how are you doing today, sir?
Good, good.
Carl, how are you doing today?
Really good.
Perfect. You're not going to ask me. It's rude.
What's going on?
I think everybody can understand how.
Yeah, I'm trying to always be in a good mood. But no, interesting show coming up. We'll get to those in a moment. Having Prevceutical, their CEO, is on later today as well. We've got
interesting to talk about.
Michael Rowley and Greg Johnson of both Metallic Minerals and Group 10 Metals.
Stop.
What?
Just a little off on the sides there.
All shares.
But what have you guys been looking at today? What's going on?
Check the Form 9s.
Always.
What do you got going on for the weekend, man?
The weekend?
Thanksgiving.
I'm watching Connor. 100%.
Connor?
I can't do an Irish accent without swearing, so I'm gonna refrain. Yeah. Conor McGregor, you heard it here first, or you heard it here first, whichever direction is pointing at me. He's gonna win. He's gonna knock him out. Knock him out.
I would definitely, he's got me, he runs his mouth so good. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, it really doesn't
matter. You love him because he has no filter.
Yeah. Literally a moneymaker.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I can watch his press conferences and I'm like, yeah. But, I get it. People don't like that stuff, right?
I'd be excited. It's a good weekend. I mean, we were laughing before, this is the first weekend. We might actually somewhat take it off. We've worked every single Saturday and Sunday for the entire year of 2018.
What's your weekend looking like for taking work off?
Turkey, a fight, golfing, and a few spreadsheets and stuff on the website.
Always got to throw a spreadsheet.
You can't stop. You can't stop. But what are we seeing in the markets today?
I got GGI at 163. I've got Matica at 16 and a half.
Those buttons.
I have Wayland at 189.
How's True Leaf doing?
True Leaf, are we going there already?
Well, I mean, it's going
that
pretty crazy right now.
That thing has been a rocket. We're going there. All right.
Well,
NDI time.
What did it open at?
Opened at 2385. It went down to 1801.
Yeah.
And now it's at 2244. I'm trying to get to my charts real fast here. I don't know if I'm connected to NDI. I'll find out soon.
Well, you got to do your magic.
Gotta do my magic. The studio has to do their magic. Oh, it doesn't even look good. It's literally just, there's not even Bollinger Bands up yet because it's such a newly traded stock.
Holy cow.
But it's been going in one direction for this entire time. It's clearly not showing up well because of how it's only been traded for a week. Today, though, was insane. It's been going, I think we'll see it better, actually, just as a bar.
Look at that candlestick. Jeez.
I can't get the other one. But it's been crazy. True Leaf is out in Florida. They own 25 dispensaries. Their revenue is like $25 million or $23.8 million US.
Tilray
They have the highest quarter of revenue of any publicly traded cannabis company. Right there. Half you didn't know them. Right there. And they're
just call everybody else out?
I did call everyone else out, yeah. I jumped in at 76, so I was late too. I heard people saying, "Oh, True Leaf."
Yep.
Where are they at, yo? In our Discord chat rooms, just telling me at the IPO, you got to get in this company.
Yeah.
I didn't listen.
He's doing really well.
He's doing really well on that.
He's doing really well, just in general.
We always joke about we're going on the Follow the Money cruise. He's paying.
He's paying
for everything.
He's going to supply the boat.
Absolutely, but it's been crazy though. It's been nuts. TRUL, it's got apparently like 100 million shares outstanding, but only 7.5 or 7 point whatever million are actually free trading.
So really? Everything else is
everything's locked up. Everything. So it looks exactly like Tilray. When you're seeing Tilray go up, not saying it's Tilray, even though on our Twitter account we may or may not have called it Tilray 2.0.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it's setting up. The fact that there's lots of shares outstanding. They're held by certain people in large amounts, like in solid hands, but they're not trading. And
there was a huge dump. Like,
you just keep seeing the staircase go up, go up. We had a little bit of an elevator down, but then it bounced right back up. I was surprised to see that, actually. It's been nuts today.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what the L2 is looking like. It's 1.5 million. It's got 7 million shares outstanding. For any of our viewers who are amazing at math, do that math. It's like, what, 20% of the entire float? I'm terrible with math. I use calculators.
That's all right, buddy.
But it's crazy. And 23.8 million.
So where are they going to go from here? You know, is it going to be another Tilray? Is it going to go up? Like, what do we think?
My shares hope so.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody's does.
My shares hope so, but I mean, Karl, I think was I talking to you? Once they put those 100 million shares into circulation, they really do have a market cap around like 2 billion or something like that.
We weren't talking about it.
Oh, someone else did. Almost. Someone else told me that.
Good talk.
There's a lot of shares outstanding, but right now, those are locked up for another few months.
Escrowed?
Wow, well, rest right now. Yeah, founder shares and stuff like that. So let's see where this can go. We'll take it into the 3 o'clock hour, the power hour with James and Ed. We'll tell them to look into it to see how it still goes. It would be amazing if it actually gets green after that massive dump. Who would have thought?
Well, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, so you sold the moment it came out and then bought at 1805 or 1801.
I wish I could think that way.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Well, look at N. Look at Namaste.
Namaste. Yeah. What are you going with that?
No.
Namaste up 17%, I think.
Are they really?
Well, no, that's not where I'm going. I want to go.
How many days ago were they at almost $4? Like 3 something?
Really, eh? A buddy of mine was looking to trade it today.
Yeah, they have destroyed there, so it's not picking up my mouse actually. Namaste is up the top of the pack. Namaste is up 8.65%.
Nice.
No, it's covering a 1 there. They're up 18.65%.
So they bounced off the 200. They actually closed below the 200 yesterday.
Oh, really?
I believe.
Well,
and
why
so
don't
they
we
would have
do this?
That's cool. People making some money.
Oh, I'd say
Namaste Technologies.
Well, I've been in since 24 cents, so I kind of just don't
right
watch
off
the day-to-day thing.
Right off the 200, like licked it and just went right back up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Why don't you get up and show us, Brandon?
Shall I? Right. Pull an Ed here. No, if you look up top, it'll show all the different 10-day moving average, 50, 100, 200, and the EMA 8. That's a Johnny Mac special. He's going to be on here later on.
I think he might have traded it today.
Did he really?
I'm not sure. He might have.
That'd be fantastic if he did.
He's a smart guy.
Reaching, not oversold, but reaching there. It's on the lower end on your RSI, but you can see right across here, top and bottom. If anyone went in here, top, right on this orange line that's going across, is your simple moving average 200. It almost touched it and just bounced right back up.
What? It almost touched what?
200.
Didn't it close below it?
Yesterday it did. I mean today.
Right.
Today again, it went down.
But from a TA perspective, the close is basically what you're looking at, right?
So and it was below it.
Yeah. So it
was below it.
It popped. That's a good sign.
Yeah. It was below it, and
a lot of people were hoping that it wasn't a dead cat bounce.
Yeah. You love that term.
I do.
I remember when we first heard a dead cat bounce. What's a dead cat bounce?
I'm not even going to try to explain it to you.
We'll ask Johnny Mac later.
Well, I'll show you back later. Absolutely.
Add that to the list.
Yeah, let the professionals talk about it.
Like a fake bounce, pretty much. It comes out and there's a fake out. But no, there's been a lot of movers this last little while, and this is just cannabis. I don't even want to look at the mining stocks right now. They're our Garibaldi. That's going through a lot of hard times as well. The first results, though.
Well, these charts aren't even looking kind of the same as last year, because wasn't these the months for mining?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then they all around this time, then they all went into cannabis.
Yeah, we had John from BMR on, and he was so electric on how amazing this September was going to be.
Yeah.
And obviously he doesn't have a crystal ball, but.
Well, you look at Calgary; they're getting snowfall soon. So
yeah,
drill results are.
Well, it all depends, where they are. Clearly, when you start getting into the BC area, it gets a lot colder than even Alberta.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, they actually have good weather up in the Nickel Mountain.
Right now they do, yeah.
It's going to be cold next week and a little bit of snow, but snow's not that much of an issue for them.
Yeah.
The wind is a concern and freezing up. So
yeah.
I actually think the snow blankets their lines. It actually kind of helps them too.
No way.
So, yeah.
Well, I think we've talked about this a couple of times though. Is why isn't mining moving the same as it did, say, last year? And some people agree with what we say, and I'm almost positive that we've talked about this and agree on it. Cannabis. They're both speculative. Cannabis is stealing the show right now. Plain and simple. Not yesterday.
People lie, numbers don't, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's clearly that's where the speculation, the money's gone.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And a lot of money.
Unless you're pulling up big gold boulders.
RNX?
Correct.
Yeah. They just had results today or yesterday, didn't they?
There was news, yeah.
I haven't read it. I've been so busy today.
Yeah, these days it's tough on show days for me to keep up with news releases and stuff, but
show days.
It's showtime.
Too much of a star now, eh?
Yeah. I'm having a bad hair day. I threw on a hat.
I
ran out of my product. It's so important.
I was going to say, this is casual Wednesday today.
Like, whatever.
I thought I was going pretty casual.
Yeah, I ran out of my product, man. Yeah. And then I had something else. I put it in my hair. I'm like, whoa, that's like, reminds me of like Gino days. Going to the club.
Gino Gucci
I used to put my gel in my freezer. That's how serious I was about.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
I want photos.
Wow, I wish
there are. Yeah. I'd pull it out, like I'd go have a shower. I'd put it in the freezer. I'd come out of the shower, grab it. All my Italian buddies tell me their little tricks.
Yeah, apparently, doing a little, and then you got to do the Italian shower, cologne everywhere.
No, I let them do that stuff. I actually took showers.
What was that clothing where it had two people sitting next to each other? Kappa,
yeah.
Kappa.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, straight Gino.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And my buddy used to wear the mod robes. You remember those? They look like hospital pants.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, but the guy was
just like the '80s. I'm really glad that we're past these fashion statements.
Yep.
We gotta keep moving on. Now we're just into stocks now. It doesn't matter what our hair looks like. It matters.
The Leafs play tonight.
Leafs do play tonight.
Where's your shirt?
I forgot.
You're wearing your all shares, but no Leafs, eh?
The Leafs not matter?
Fuck. Well, they're going to smash the Habs tonight, guys.
Ooh, I know there's some people in our group who are diehard Canadian fans, but I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. Those days are over, man. The days of laughing at us they're gone.
Are we winning the Cup? Are the Maple Leafs, this is so relevant to stocks, are Maple Leafs going to win the Cup this year?
Listen.
No, not this year.
I don't need to say that. I don't need to say they're going to win the Cup. I just know they have a better team than Montreal.
We're going to finish second in the East this year.
To who? The Lightning?
Lightning's going to be at it. I think the Lightning's going to be at it. Second in the East.
I'll take that.
And we're going to win in 6 games. Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Everyone hates me on the internet right now.
Wow. You're calling that, eh?
Going there. We'll go back to this. You guys really, really make fun of me. There's a way higher probability you will, or we're going to look like a genius on the two.
I like your team, man.
Well, we were saying earlier that we've got Greg Johnson and Michael Rowley coming on. We've done numerous things. They're clients of FTMIG.com.
Good people. Good people.
Smart.
I've had a lot of good talks with both Greg and Mike. Greg, unfortunately, we were having some technical issues, so he went to his cell phone, and it was cutting up a little bit.
What's going on with the Skype here?
Well, I know Skype. It's technology.
Live
one of those
TV,
things.
Well, that actually wasn't live, but still.
But no. It's so. There's lots of stuff. If you go to FTMIG.com, if you search metallic minerals in there, we've got videos. We have Facebook Lives. I think I have 2 videos with Greg. I think you did one as well.
Aren't you special?
The guy has some. Oh, that's rude. The guy, though, it was interesting because he speaks about mine. It's not just his company he knows about. He knows about all the different ones around him and the historic nature of all the ones around him. So it was interesting. Lots of stuff that they're working on with both metallic minerals and Group 10 metals, but they also have a copper play, and a copper play that is doing an RTO, and that private placement is open.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So that's very interesting as well.
It's open. What's it at?
Kind of a ground floor.
I never even asked, funny enough.
Ground floor situation.
I know.
Really?
They announced it like last week at Something Creek. It was a big mining convention.
What's cool about them is they have exposure to different metals. It's great.
It's literally you're hedging yourself with all the different metals.
Of course.
Yeah. And good.
Why don't we go to that clip where we were watching? Well, I was speaking to Michael and Greg, and we'll go there now, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Alrighty.
And we are here with Greg Johnson and Michael Rowley of the Metallic Minerals Group. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Very well, thanks. Glad to be here.
Well, hey, it's a pleasure having you on. So some of our viewers from the Follow the Money Investor Group, they're well aware of Greg Johnson. We've had a few pieces with him. So if you are interested after this, we've got 2 or 3 different webinars with Greg at FTMIG.com. You can go by there and find a little bit more about their companies after this as well. But gentlemen, it's in the thick of the drilling season. How's everything going right now, and where are you at for both companies so far this year?
Well, it is an exciting time for Canadian exploration companies. We've been out, most companies in the field, collecting their data, targeting. Results are starting to flow in, this month and the next several months. It's a great time to be looking at things. Often there's lots of flow, and our projects are no exception to that.
No, I'm glad to hear. And although they are different companies, but they share a lot of the management, we also have Michael Rowley here of Group 10 Metals. What have you guys been up to in the last little while?
Excellent field season down in Stillwater in particular, which is our flagship, of course, the Stillwater District of Montana. We've also done programs in the Yukon and Ontario. Stillwater, very much the focus. The team is still active there. We're excited about what we found. I guess the center point to that is 12,000 meters of historic core that we have in our possession that we've now completed relogging. And that, plus the mapping and prospecting efforts from the year across this 25-kilometer wide claim block. We're excited about that and the news flow that will follow in the next weeks and months.
Yeah, and we started seeing that finally. We started seeing a lot of different essays coming out, whether it be one of the big ones people are talking about is Garibaldi, Nickel Mountain. We've got a lot of the Golden Triangle, and a lot of gold players are starting to come up with their first assays of the year, and people are excited about it. Are we near that for either one of yourselves? I know you can't tell me the exact dates, but are we getting close?
Yeah, we've been in the field starting in June, and basically you build up your initial work. You start to get those assays going to the lab. So I think last year is a good example of what you can expect from metallic minerals in terms of our silver exploration up in the historic Keno. So basically, for the next couple of months, all the way probably until January, a continuous series of news.
Hey, and I can't wait to start hearing about it. I know you guys have been, every time I talk to you, you're flying one place, you're at another convention. It's exciting times for it. And switching back over to you, Michael, for Group 10 Metals. What have you been up to the next little while, and are we expecting assays to start coming out now, maybe next month, or in the very near future?
Give us a couple of weeks for the first batch. We have some of them in already, but they will be coming in over the subsequent months. The drill stuff we have to get into a 3D model, right? And we have to work all that up. So that's a bit more of an effort. That'll be over the coming months. But that model and us working towards a mineral inventory there, those are key developments for later this year, and we're very excited.
Yeah, and I said metallic group, and because there were 2 companies that we've spoken about, both of you being at the helms of one and then the other. But there's another company. This was just announced. I forget the convention's name, forgive me, but just like last week, Greg, you were speaking. Michael, can you let us know a little bit more about the copper company that you guys are, I don't know if it's a spin-off or just another part of your group that you guys are going to be doing as of right now, actually. I think it's already started. It's active.
Yeah, it's basically, its name is Granite Creek. It's currently Granite Creek Gold. We're going to rebrand it Granite Creek Copper. It is the 3rd company in the metallic group. If you look at our track record, we've basically done 1 company per year. Metallic in 2016, Group 10 2017, and now Granite 2018. Ticker is GCX.H. There was an announcement, I believe September 14th, where we laid out the terms of this reactivation and this acquisition. Very attractive copper project in the central Yukon. Company currently has 2.9 million shares outstanding. It's a reactivation. There's a process involved with a placement and a property, bring these things together and get back to the TSX venture and trading. The asset is brilliant. It follows very much what the other 2 companies have done. Metallic minerals, of course, in the Keno district, applying these Coeur d'Alene billion-ounce silver district thinking. and then Group 10 in Stillwater, applying this Platte Reef model.
Yeah.
We'll be doing the same at Granite in terms of applying the work done by its neighbors, the producing copper mine to the north and the resource stage property to the south, to the Stu project, which we're acquiring in the middle of those two.
Yeah, and speaking of the people next to you, there's a massive open pit right beside you guys. Is that true?
Yeah, the Minto copper mine to the north. In fact, it's producing copper mine. It's currently owned by Capstone, just now being purchased by Pembridge, a group out of the UK. That's an exciting development for the district. And yeah, at one point it was the highest grade producing copper mine in North America.
Oh, wow.
And it's still an excellent mine. Yeah, good project.
Yeah, and speaking to Greg, the video I was talking about earlier when we were talking probably a few weeks ago now, what do you look for in a mining company? You know, you want to make sure you have a great land package, or were there past results, are there roads? You know, there's a lot of different things you think of, but one of the bigger ones was, are you in somewhere or near somewhere that has past success? And it sounds like your copper mine right now is actually right next to one, like you said. At one point, it was the most production of any copper mine in North America. I mean, that's elephant country. I'm using your term here. We're back in elephant country when you're starting to look for this.
Yeah, no, all three of the metallic group companies share that same business strategy. We've got brownfields exploration potential. We've got past producing mines that have been discovered and developed, and we've got operating high-grade mines. And so what this does, Brandon, is this basically allows us to have confidence in the ability to discover new deposits and to advance those towards production much more quickly than you could on a standalone opportunities.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And Mike, I think you were saying, are we able to be a part of this? Like, am I able to invest in this copper play, or are the viewers able to invest? Is there any way we can get a part of that, or do we have to wait a few more weeks? Are you there yet?
Yeah, basically keep in touch. The placement has been announced as part of that September 14th news release, and your viewers are certainly invited to take a look at that and reach out to us. We'd be glad to discuss further what we're working on for all three companies.
Yeah, no, and that's exciting too, because we keep telling people, I know Karl, the both of you met Karl actually, spoken to him many times. What we've been really pounding the table on recently is finding opportunities early. I mean, if you look at the mining space or the cannabis space, both speculative spaces, and both have had a lot of ups and downs the last little while. You know, when you're looking at those ones, so many people are so used to instant gratification. You know, or at least now they are, where you go and you get into a stock, and if it doesn't go up by 30% in a week, you're like, oh, what's this company doing? They're not. It's not normal. That's not how stocks usually work. But we keep telling people, get into companies early, get them closer to ground floor, because that's where, one, you have a lot less downside, especially with like what you're saying, like an RTO, like starting a company right from the beginning, but also, it's going to take more time. You hold on to those plays, but they have the potential of being 2, 3, 4, 5 baggers if you guys are able to find what you're looking for and you're able to be patient throughout it. So we keep telling people, look for private placements, look for these things to get into early, and it's that's why we wanted to bring this up as well, because it's something that's very interesting, something to look into, and it sounds like they can reach out to you and get a little bit more information on it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the focus that we've got here with metallic companies, as you said, is a long-term focus. Sure, there could be near-term changes in the metal prices, exciting exploration results, but really it's about investing with a team, understanding that they've got an experience to be able to do them and to make those discoveries. These happen, right? But if you've got and you've got a really systematic approach to exploration, which is what we're doing on all three. We're confident to have success. We think is an interest in the metallic group is that we've got major metals, gold and metallic minerals.
Yeah.
Platinum and nickel and now copper, Granite Creek Copper, is the new company that we've just.
Absolutely, and Greg, I know we had to switch to your cell phone last moment there, so there is a little bit of a cutting out in volume, so forgive us for that there. But on your point of having those numerous metals, that's interesting because a lot of people, it's almost like you're hedging your bet with all these different metals. But copper specifically, I know when I was looking into this over the last few years, copper is going through a massive, massive shortage over the next 1 to 3 years. I think it's already started as well. And clearly we use copper in so many different things, from housing to batteries to all the different electrical cars. It's everywhere. It's interesting because over the last few years, to my knowledge, not many mines have started producing, like new mines have started producing. So it seems like it's a perfect time to get into companies where, you know, if there's a scarcity, if the supply of copper is going down, usually the invisible hand of the market usually pushes that price upwards. That's the time you want to be able to get into early companies. If you think that in the next few years the price of copper is going to be rising, that's where you can really start getting a nice appreciation, both on the company that you guys are creating and working on, but as a shareholder. Obviously, if you've got, you know, X amount of grams of copper, whatever it be, in the ground, if it's worth $10 today or if it's worth $30 tomorrow, clearly you're now 3 times more valuable as a company. It's interesting because I do believe it's that way. Michael, can you go on a little bit more on the copper play, but more so, where do you see copper? Is what I'm saying, am I on the right track there with where we think copper is going to be on a grand scale?
Absolutely, yep. Definitely, copper is a technology metal. It's right at the heart of technology, as you mentioned, and we see a bright future for it. In terms of the project, this is not only very good ground, highly prospective based on its neighbors, the neighborhood, all that, which we already discussed. It's also the fact that the property has been private for decades, literally. And so we're the first to bring this back into a public vehicle, bring all the data together, look at the developments to the north, to the south, and then quickly advance this to a resource delineation stage, which is, of course, our model. If you look at our materials, we've got that great slide that shows the stages of valuation in mineral and mining projects. And this is that early beginning where you get that quick ramp up in value and multiples created in terms of value add. Yeah. Basically by working up what's already there in plain sight. There is copper there is gold there, we know that. We have these historic data. There's, I believe, 15 historic drill holes on this one. We can work all that up and hit the ground nicely and really build something, add some value.
Hey, exactly what I want to hear if I'm going into a company. And you were talking about a slide both on your website and on FTMIG.com. We've got Group 10 metals and metallic minerals as featured companies on there. You can go and you could see, you can click on that. They've got your investor presentations, and it's really knowledgeable there, actually. There's a lot of information there where you can see the different cycles that metals take. You can see where we are now and where we believe where we're projected to be going in the next little while. So if you are more curious about that, please go over to the website, check that out. You can learn a little bit more. There's also some videos, like I said, with Greg Johnson. Although we've been having a little bit of issues with the audio, that man can certainly speak, and the knowledge that comes from him, I've really appreciated knowing you over the last little while. We do have some good videos with that as well. But this won't be the last of you guys here. I'd love to get us doing a nice little podcast in the next little while. We can go a little bit more in depth into each one of these companies, because it's intriguing to myself as an investor in the 2 companies, hopefully soon to be the 3 companies. But it's just intriguing as well as we learn this mining exploration sector as we continue to grow. So I appreciate your guys' time very much and look forward to being able to have you guys on again very soon.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be back again.
Absolutely, guys. Look forward to hearing the results the next little while. We'll take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.
The countdown from the studio is over. I love how they yell through that door.
That was hilarious.
We know we're live now. Oh, you're great.
What's going on?
I wish I can go more, let Greg really go off. Not this Greg Johnson really go off, but we tried a cell phone, the internet connection wasn't working there, so we couldn't get too much out of him this time around. But those 2 and a few others that they're working with, they're putting together a really, really interesting group of companies. That's why we're investors in them.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. You going to the copper? What
Pardon
are you
me?
doing?
I want to, but I mean, if you
You're
give me
Mr.
more
PP
detail.
right there.
Yeah, I know.
Private
right?
placement.
All over
Man
the
of
place.
the hour.
Yeah, I know.
How many are you in now?
I don't know, 16, 17?
You don't know.
I lost count, man. I lost count.
You actually don't know how many private placements you're in.
No, because like I'm doing with like TD, and then but all my private placements are with Questrade.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Questrade.
Yeah.
Right there.
You like that?
Is
that a plug or?
It's a plug, but also I can't stand certain brokers that you know.
I'm getting real pissed off at TD. That's
Keep.
what I'm talking
I actually wanted to sell a stock. Was it last week? And TD wasn't working.
I was there
and
for
then
that.
it didn't sell, and now I'm down like 30% on it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I couldn't believe it.
And they won't do anything for you.
Nope.
No, I got $100 one time.
Yeah, I got a couple. I got
Mine's
two.
RB.
You got two.
I
How'd
got
you get
Ash
two? They
Mall,
told me I
'cause
couldn't go any more than $100.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Ash is with the same broker I am with. So when I
Ryan's at RB.
I was like, well, if you're admitting a problem for me, obviously she has the same problem. So I got us $200, but still can't quantify that number.
No.
30% on whatever your
losing
holdings are.
thousands.
In
How's
some
that
of these
even-
chats, I've been told that BMO will cover what you can prove that you've lost or gained, kind of thing.
Better
Maybe you
than-
start a BMO plug.
Well,
better
that's,
than the
that's what I'm saying.
better than mine.
The green one,
Yeah,
2 letters,
a T and a D.
and that chair doesn't even look comfortable. Stop telling me it's as comfortable as that chair looks. That's not true.
More
Pretty
comfortable
good,
than
I
these
hear.
ones.
If you're at the Jays game, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I've been there before. Those are a little bit different.
Right,
I mean,
right.
anyway, that's going too much into it.
Yeah, so we're looking into a new broker.
Yeah, but 16 private placements. Do all those come with warrants? Like all of your ones that
Most
you
of
went
them
into?
do. Some are special. Some are.
How special?
Yeah, they're very, very special. But actually, speaking of those, I was so happy to see that
Wayland.
almost did it, eh?
Yeah,
together.
Wayland. Good old whale.
Yeah, their perspective closed, so I'm pretty happy about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for those that weren't paying attention yesterday, the prospectus. So they hadn't filed the prospectus since they had. There's a couple of things that happened actually with Wayland. They didn't have the prospectus filed, so technically those shares that you had in the special warrants didn't really exist.
Yeah.
They're there,
I would've been
but
so
until
pissed
it's
if they got taken away.
filed, then that's when they become real.
Yeah.
And what was the shares at? $1.60,
$1.60 special warrants at $1.75.
Yeah, so both are in the money.
Yeah.
Both in the money, and
Well, getting closer to not,
yeah,
they can't hold it.
yeah, it's hard sometimes. They have so many different good things going for them, but there's a lot of things that really have been anchors on their share price. And the other thing I was saying, the other thing came out was that the OSC investigation into the insiders of their company was, as of September 28th, it was in the prospectus. It is now finished. There were no more further action being taken place. It's over.
That's good.
So does that actually mean, people will still be thinking about it for some time, unfortunately, when those things happen, but having that finished and put to the past, it's a positive sign in my mind.
Can we bury that now?
I'm down. You have a shovel?
You ready to bury
Let's
that?
bury it. Let's just throw it away.
We will not mention it
We're gonna throw it away?
another time.
Yeah,
We're
it's
throwing it away or we're burying it.
It's
Pick
over.
your choice.
Man. It's over.
Yeah.
It's
Alright,
over.
it's buried.
It's done. Just leave it alone.
It's good.
Yeah, so no, I'd love to see that. That'd be a lot of injection of money into the company, but it's also a lot of paper as well. But thankfully, I think they've got some big catalysts coming up, like with the import license in Germany.
Let's hope.
They're still waiting
They
for
wanna
that
do
to really
NASDAQ?
get through. I'm sure they want to go into some sort of USD. You have to have like a $2 or $3 stock price, I think. There's stipulations.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
towards
there's
that.
a lot of rumors around some companies right now for uplisting.
yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah.
something that you'd want to look into.
Yep.
But there are.
Namaste was close too, but then they just got.
Namaste.
Crapped
So
on.
that's another. Well,
You believe in that
already looked at it.
Namaste is the
we already
Amazon
pulled up
of
Namaste. I
bag
thought we pulled
holders?
it through.
No, we looked at it first.
It's amazing. Up 19% now, almost 20% after they lost 50% of their company last week,
Yeah,
or over
exactly.
the course of a week. It's volatile.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
It's the
what's gonna-
cannabis sector, man.
You never know what's going to go on. October 17th. It's approaching.
It's so close. I thought there would be more of a run than this. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, but
Well, I think I'm hoping that it's a pullback before another big run.
yeah,
So what do we think?
Who knows, man?
It's so
I think
hard.
it's going to be
It's so
into
hard.
If you-
revenues.
Yeah,
That's what's
but
gonna, like,
there's going to be a
move
shortage,
people.
right? We
Yeah.
know that. So I mean, yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
it's just
How long do you think they're going to last?
If you look at the charts, I mean, I see people comparing it to last year. It's like, well, you've got, usually the market, things are priced in. You know what I mean? So you have October 17th coming up, but the big banks, are they going to jump in?
Well, I know only BMO's in this now, so it's like
I think TD is slowly like they started putting like advisors towards it, but not like BMO, not like BMO.
No, but I mean, there's so much more like catalysts that can come in to help this. Like what happened to Diageo? Like they were talked about for a bit, and then that kind of fizzled away. Pepsi just kind of said that they were following in Coca-Cola's footsteps, and
that article just went onto our website FTMIG.com today. I noticed that, and it's interesting to see these bigger players coming in because October 17th. I remember a few years ago, I'm like, this is going to be amazing. Not the exact date because we didn't know it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think it's almost no news.
What?
October 17th.
Well,
it's recreational. Yeah. It's significant. But Ontario doesn't even have recreational stores until April of next year.
Yeah, but still, I mean, a lot of people through the last couple of years, you talk about cannabis, and they're like, yeah, well, how the government is. You never know if it's going to happen. It's actually going to happen. So it is significant. You know what I mean? Because it eliminates that fucking conversation. Yeah. It's like, no, it's here. And in Ontario, you can smoke weed. People.
That's crazy, eh? I'm very surprised that our government went with that you can smoke cannabis anywhere you can smoke.
Obviously a Rob Ford thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you? I don't know if you watched. I did a piece. I think it was with you actually, talking about how the Rob Ford. No, it was with Graham from Wayland. Talking about how Rob Ford coming in. He's like, yeah, he's got a lot of experience with it. I just stopped talking for a second. With that area.
With politics.
With politics.
We'll go with that.
Because that family, they've slung a lot of politics in the past. But it makes a lot of sense though, because
is this live?
This is definitely live. Yeah. It's funny. I don't really swear it often, but I say a lot of things and think afterwards, like, am I allowed saying that? It's YouTube though. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But we don't have edibles. Such a huge part of the.
What do you mean? I know a lot of people that had them last week.
Because of the gray market, because of random dispensaries.
A buddy of mine, his name's James. Shout out to James. He's dating someone new, and he's like, man, he's not a cannabis smoker. Like, he's not into cannabis. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what are you guys up to? He's like, man, we're fucking eating gummies every weekend and all that. And he's got a new girl and all that, so they're just loving life. Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of edibles out there.
Yeah. They're out there. I think they're going to be...
This guy.
Especially as you get closer and closer. A lot of these ones are getting shut down, a lot of them. But, there's definitely going to be a massive retail market. They're going to get their act together soon.
It's coming, man.
I think edibles and all that's going to be pretty quick. But for stock-wise, I mean, after October 17th, really it's up in the air where you've got to wait for like a big acquisition or you've got to wait for a big bank to come in. Like there's no real catalyst.
The next thing. It has to happen.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be some big deals, man.
Yeah.
I personally think the big banks are going to step in, and they're going to fund the companies they like and say, "Go play."
Yeah.
Go play. Go. You got to look at it like the way I view cannabis right now is we have this global opportunity, right? Oh yeah. Go get as big as you can because we're not really going to be the only country headed in this direction.
I can't do
right?
that.
So yeah. Anyways, people know.
We all just keep cutting each other off. No, I agree though. I agree, and I've said it for a long time when it comes to the United States and all that. Like, yes, we were talking about Trulieve earlier, 23 whatever million it is in sales, but at the end of the day, whether it's Trulieve, whether you're with it's MedMen, whatever it is, MedMen is that? That is, yeah. I said Batman for a second. Great show.
Batman,
but they're not global. They can't export, not legally. That Canadian companies have a massive advantage in that way. And
we are the global supplier.
Go out there and be as big as you possibly can because as soon as the federal government in the United States says, you know what, we're taking cannabis off as a Schedule I drug federally,
dude,
you have a lot of money coming at Canadian companies after that.
Just go back, sticking with Canada, we meet a lot of people down here downtown, right? Look at all the new young money.
Yeah.
All the millennials making millions. How are they making millions, man?
Cannabis.
Oh, it's huge.
Or they roll the dice with blockchain and somehow we're those one people in cryptocurrencies.
And there's people all around the world that are making millions off Canadian cannabis companies, right? And I'm proud.
Yeah.
Proud that we've gone in this direction, man, because it shouldn't have been this long, but whatever.
No, it's going to be so good for the Canadian economy, and there might be people, if they're watching this, they're probably not going to be angry at that because they're probably invested in cannabis anyway. But cannabis, there are so many different derivatives, and there are so many different products that are coming out every single day. We're changing the framework of Canadian exports. That's massive.
Oh yeah.
We're every single year almost, we're in a deficit for our GDP because we are importing, we're taking in more product than we're selling to other countries. It's a zero-sum game. There's a winner and there's a loser, always. We are now eating back at that market share of dollars coming in and dollars going out, and it's going to be through cannabis. So take that, Mom, I was right 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's amazing for the country. It really, really is. And there's so many different products. We haven't even begun to start realizing.
Oh yeah. Well, look how many deals are being made with beverage companies.
Yeah.
Every single company now is getting involved with beverage.
Yeah.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And there's a race to who's going to have the best
exactly.
tech, right?
Absolutely.
Separating, they're having a problem separating the oil and the water and stuff like that.
There's a lot of issues with it being like salt, being really, really soluble and
tasting
being
good.
able to get through your system fast enough. Because a lot of the times you take all cannabinoids in certain conventional methods, and a lot of it just gets wasted. It doesn't get through your system because it gets filtered through your kidney, through whatever. Like I'm not a doctor, don't quote me here.
I thought
It's just like taking
lose a
vitamins.
lot.
You know, my better half said Brandon knows everything.
Yeah?
And clearly you don't.
Gosh, thanks. Almost positive
talking
it's your
about
kidney,
me.
though.
Did you watch that Facebook Live with Ash and I?
Watching a portrait. I was running
pretty-
as well. I
that's pretty
actually had it
cool,
on
right?
while I was running.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Yeah, she did. I want her to do more.
A family
think-
that
think she
invests
will?
together.
Well, I think the audience can, relate to, especially a lot of women, right?
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
She really does bring that, balance, right? Because 3 times now, if I would have listened to her, I mean, I would have been selling at the tops of a couple of my biggest holdings.
yeah.
I mean, as I say, people lie, numbers don't.
Yeah.
So,
No, it is an interesting dynamic because we've never been the 3-piece suit, born and raised on Wall Street type of guys ever. I mean, we've always been this whole, it's the retailers, it's mom and pop, it's learning on your own.
yeah,
The fact
you'll
that
never see
doing
me in a suit like every day like that. Like
Brandon
I-
can't wait to wear suits.
I love suits, but I understand that I
you're-
had a choice to be a banker, and I decided not to. I decided not to go that route because I don't believe in a lot of things that happen there.
Well, I don't want to disrespect anyone in this building. But
Everyone's different. But just to go on the whole part with you and Ash, you guys invest in each other all the time. You guys are always talking about it. There's so many people out here listening right now. They're not from Wall Street. They're not like these master traders. You're not a multi-millionaire turning to a YouTube channel to learn how to trade. Like it's different. A lot of the people watching right now are family members. They work full-time jobs. They want to learn. They want to grow.
There's a story there with Ash and I think it's an interesting one. I want to encourage her to start her own Facebook group with investing with women, and mothers and single mothers and stuff like that.
Well, that's what's unique about like Evenco. It's
right.
Cannabis directed
Yeah.
for women.
Really cool, man. We got to get into other things too, like AI and like tech. There's a lot of I want to bring people on our show though where I don't know anything about this stuff, like AI. You know what I mean? And just hearing how advanced they are and it's like
What they
amazing.
can do. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Cannabis is cool. Don't get me wrong. We got to mix it up a little bit.
G Money George. If you're follow the Money Investor Group, you get like 10 articles of
Yes,
AI
George.
and technology every.
You can see he reads a lot, right?
Well, I keep looking like I want to learn about this.
Yeah, and what we got to get? We need a printout of his face.
Yeah.
And put it on a popsicle stick. Every time we mention him, we're just going to go like that. Right? So he's like, here. He's kind of here.
You don't want to steal the bell at the front desk for that?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I did that already.
Yeah.
Ding. George, ding.
No, but you got to keep looking for where the money's going and what different areas money is entering because look what just happened in cannabis. We spoke about it with mining as well. We thought mining was going to be massive, but a lot of the speculative money went to cannabis.
Yeah.
Now you looked at yesterday where everything was red by 5%, 7%, like some of them double digits. the money's obviously leaving. Well, where's that money going there? You got to follow that money. It's a cliche, and it's the reason why we love the saying in our company, because that's what you literally have to do. Yep. You have to find out where's the money moving. I think AI and technology is going to be huge.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
We have 5 minutes.
Oh, cool. Do you guys want to talk about the Play AGM?
I'd love to.
The victory for...
That was...
The one that they didn't even show up for?
There was not one director of the company that showed up to the AGM meeting. They had to get TSX representatives because they had no one to run the meeting. That's unheard of.
All resigned.
They all resigned.
Start touching yourself.
Yeah.
Because a band of retail investors came together. Said, I don't think what you're doing is right, and it grew and grew and grew from that. And all of a sudden, here we are now. I don't know what's left of that company.
Well,
what do you want to see from it?
Look,
Come on.
I mean, I don't think it would be good of us to sit here and say, it's a success story yet. I mean, look, it's pretty remarkable that a bunch of retailers came together and, essentially took back their company.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool thing, and that is a win, don't get me wrong. But,
it should be a documentary.
I feel like the bad guys right now are sitting there and they're like, well, we just absolutely demolished your company. Yeah. And you have a shell now, and people got to go in and see what's underneath the hood. Yeah. Bank accounts and all this stuff, right? So what I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see people's money just sitting in a shell. I want to see something done with this thing.
Yeah.
Clean it up. I don't care what it takes. Clean it up and put an asset in that thing.
They got to change the name.
And that's when,
that's what I feel.
That's when the story should be told, and that's really a victory.
Yeah.
And also what's going to happen to some of these people. So, I mean, I'm not quite there yet. It was cool, the fact that I just feel like we're in the third inning, the third or the fourth inning of this story.
Yeah.
But I met a lot of good people at that AGM.
Yeah, it was very interesting actually. Randomly, someone I used to work with up in Muskoka, Rob was there, which was small world. But speaking to the developers, speaking to the people there, you could tell these investors had a lot invested in this company. Like, it's not just their money, it's like they really wanted to succeed, and unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. But yeah, very, very interesting that not a single director showed up.
They all resigned the day of.
All resigned the morning of.
And that was also after, them already turning over the directors, right? I mean, it was just like, it's kind of ridiculous when you think of that. This is the stuff
insane.
It's crazy, man.
It's insane. And now
everybody's pointing fingers. They're all like, "Oh no, we didn't know anything about it. He did." And it's like, I'm being played by this person.
But what needs to happen? Because it's a small community, man.
Yeah.
What needs to happen is there needs to be a list of all these names and these people, right? And if they're not held accountable and we don't remember who they are, they just keep going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I think it's been happening for a long time, but the difference now is social media.
Well, the information age.
You can actually search Form 9s. You can actually search these different companies. You can search their documents through CDAR, and you can find out who is involved with what, and you can track things. So if there's people who are operating in certain ways, investors will know them and know to search for them and say, you know what, I like that company, but I can't do it.
Yeah, and I don't want to make excuses for some of these companies that get involved with some of these people, but it's not, unfortunately, sometimes companies don't know who they are. Yeah. They don't know what they're dealing with.
Easily.
And I hate,
but hopefully that this is helping them figure this out, right?
Yeah. But, so now it's like companies that are getting involved, from this point with certain groups and people, it's like, do they really have an excuse,
Yeah, I think they do. I think if you don't know anything about markets and you're, say, like in the case of Play, you're a developer, and you don't know anything about going public, you don't have any connections in that world.
At that point, yes.
At that point, but once you've already made your bed, you're already there.
Well, I know.
You might lift the blanket up later.
About the ones that are
now. I'm not. I'll give them the excuse from then. I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
And even with this movement of people and stuff like that. I mean, there's things you can do online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, I don't like to speculate. Just put the facts out there.
Yeah.
That way, you're just talking about the facts. We're not here to trash people with an agenda. It's like, this is what happened. You know what I mean? And it should be online. So when you Google certain people's names and stuff, it's right there. But it's factual stuff.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean? And if anyone wants to throw you a freaking lawsuit or a cease and dismiss, you literally just throw that shit in the garbage because it's not relevant. You know what I mean? Those fear tactics don't work with me, man.
No, absolutely. Well,
said.
It's an interesting road ahead of us. We made it. It's time for our next guest to come on as well. We had Prevceuticals stop by and go through Skype and talk about a couple of things, but especially why is their stock halted right now? We'll go to that clip now.
Check Form 9.
And we are here with Steven Van Deventer, CEO of Prevceutical. How are you doing today, my good sir?
I'm doing very good. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Just another day of trying to make sense of the crazy cannabis and the sector that's going on and everything that's happening. It's a wild ride, that's for sure, which I'm sure you know.
I got involved in 2014, and it's funny, one of the first projects I actually got involved with was Aurora Cannabis. It was my first deal there. And what was quite sort of funny about when I put it together those time of days, I went to a lot of my investors, and everyone was going, cannabis, there was all this negativity, right? Now you go to people and they go, you got a cannabis deal. You got anything I can invest in?
Yeah.
So it's changed so much the last few years.
It's amazing the stigma that's changed or been erased, and just like you said, when I first started investing, it was in Bedrocan. It was like 4.5 years ago or something like that. I told some of my friends, and they laughed at me. Like, what do you mean you invested in marijuana? Well, that turned into Canopy Growth Corporation. We all know how that went.
Well, that's actually very funny. A little bit off topic with Prevceutical. It's not really off topic, but funny you bring up Bedrocan. I don't know if you saw a press release of Prevceutical just recently that we've done a deal with a company called Asterion Cannabis. Mm-hmm. And Asterion Cannabis is another company that I put together with a whole bunch of other people. And Hamish Sutherland, who's our Chief Operations Officer of Asterion Cannabis, he was the founder and Chief Operations Officer of Bedrocan.
Yes, he was, and he's with your company now.
He's with us in Asterion Cannabis, forging ahead to help some preventive health medicine. Well, first of all, doing our facility in Australia, but also helping us with a lot of different preventive health cannabis products we're putting together in Prevceutical.
Yeah, very nice. I've met him before, actually, over at White Sheep Corp. They had a little convention there a little while ago. So it was he's a great guy, and he really does know what's going on in this industry. So you've picked up a really, really smart person there.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now, on the notion of Prevceutical, for those who don't know, and those like, I've never heard of that before, what do you do and what space are you currently working in?
Well, Prevceutical, how it came to be is that, actually my business partner at the time, who ended up becoming my wife after a while, but Kimberly, she came with this one idea. She goes, we've got pharmaceuticals, we have nutraceuticals, but what's with this? Why is there no preventive health? And so, I thought, that's a great idea. We should start working down the preventive health path. And she said, why don't we create Prevceuticals? So we got nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, Prevceuticals. So I thought it was a great idea. So when I trademarked it globally, I got all the URLs, and we just sat on it until we got all the approvals. And then we said, what do we got to do? We got something preventive. And then, we came across, as you know, we came across scorpion venom, which helped with some cancer, but it can also be helping preventing of different diseases. So that's where it started. The company's evolved extremely since then.
Yeah, and obviously you're starting to take CBD in different formulations and putting those into your products as you're, exactly like you said, looking for different nutraceutical and pharmaceutical applications. Yeah. Something that a lot of people, if you have, because you trade on, is it the CSC? Yes, the CSC, PREV is the ticker. And one thing that I noticed is that it is not trading right now. It is halted. Can you speak in any which way on what's going on there?
Yes, I can to a certain degree, because number one, we're halted, so people can't really take advantage of the stock by buying it. We won't be doing any financing it during this whole period. The halt, I suspect, is going to be only, I think there's potentially we can come to trade tomorrow again. Worst case scenario, I suspect the day after, but it's highly likely tomorrow. And I'm expecting news later today or first thing in the morning. We have, we've been looking, as I said, to expand into different forms, via our cannabis division we opened a few months ago. And so we've been closely looking at the cannabis industry. Problem that I see in the industry, in the cannabis industry, well, not really a problem, it's more Canadian companies. There's a lot of big LPs out there, the Auroras, the Canopies, the Alfiers, they're all the big guys now. It's kind of like almost feels like the actual investment banks have picked the winners. They said, okay, you guys are going to be the winners. We're going to find you all the way through, and then just absorb all the other guys as you require. So, kind of as you know about mining, it's not always about the mine, but about the picks and shovels. So we're kind of looking at that scenario where how we can do complementary stuff with hemp and CBDs, etc. And so we've done some really extensive searching and going through our different contact bases, and we've actually found an acquisition that we're contemplating moving forward with. Actually, we're very serious with, and so something to those lines will be issued in some statements very shortly prior to coming to trade in the next 24 hours, I would say.
Hey, that's exciting, man. I'm really excited for it because I know that we started watching the stock, and from a TA's perspective, there was a massive breakout, and that's what caught a lot of people's attention from the very beginning. And then everyone's like, "Who is PrevCeutical?" They were looking into it, and they started looking into different products. Like, "Oh, this is interesting." And that's when that day I reached out to you guys, and I said we would love to have you on the show because it really started gaining a lot of interest in both our community at Follow the Money Investor Group, but also other communities that we were watching as well. Everyone kept talking about Prev, the ticker, that being. Right. But no, it's interesting, and being able to put a face to a company, hear the different things that are going on as well. It's exactly what people were looking for, and that's why we have shows like this, so we can talk right to the source.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little bit more reason why I'm doing this. I've been in business. My father was a businessman. I used to, at 4 years old, go to work with him at 3 in the morning. All sorts of things. So I've been in business my whole life, and and then I've been in the capital markets for about 25 years. And one of the things that when I was a broker, there was one thing that as a broker, when I heard it was R&D, I used to say I'm not interested in investing because usually with R&D you have a scientist or a doctor who's the CEO of the company, and he doesn't have any idea how to commercialize anything, and all he wants to do is R&D the company to death for the next 45 years. And so, recognizing that, I have experience. So we've taken out quite a portfolio of programs. We've got our Soul Gel program for this fusing of the cannabinoids, where Aurora Cannabis has provided us cannabis to be provided into the Soul Gels, and so we've done all the fingerprint already. We have a dual gene therapy that we believe that within about 3 years from now we can prove that we can cure diabetes and obesity. But of course, once you prove it, that's one thing. Now we got to go through all the FDA stuff. But that's when we'll partner with Big Pharma. And then we have the painkillers, stronger than any opioids and stuff like that. But you cannot kill yourself with it. You cannot be addicted. You cannot get high, so people won't abuse it. And now we have this cannabis. But all those things are all R&D. And they're 18 months to 4 years, 48 months. And the worry about that is that, we can't just continue going to investors and say, please throw some more money, can we have some more money while we R&D them to death? Because I personally have put about $4 million in. Mm-hmm. So to help this business move along, I'm looking for revenue streams now. So we've got the holy grails where we can create tremendous multi-billion-dollar IPs. But, let's create some cash flow. Hence, we started the cannabis division, and this news coming up now will definitely give you guys an idea of potential revenues that are going to be, let's put it this way, the possibilities out there are unbelievable.
And I don't doubt that comment whatsoever when it comes to the possibilities are absolutely endless when it comes to cannabis and all the different forms it can take and all the different applications it has, both as an investor but also just as an economist, where I love seeing these things as they transpire. I'm really excited to see certain things coming up. You've got me excited to see what the news is going to be. We'll obviously have to wait until that's released through IROC, but I appreciate you coming on and talk about the company a little bit more. Maybe we'll get you back on here when we've got the news out. We can discuss it when you're actually allowed to.
That would be a great idea because I can tell there's well over 100 products in this company that are ready to sell. They're capable of producing more than 20 million pieces a month. It's extensive. So at that point, I would probably bring, there's going to be 2 new people coming into the company. We don't have a chief operations officer at this point. Because I've been doing the operations, but what's coming in, we're going to need it. So the chief operations officer that will be coming in, I'll probably bring him on the show with me next, because I tell you what, I'm still trying to digest the amount of products they have and how they work. It's unbelievable.
I'm excited about it. I appreciate you coming on. Out west, it's very early in the morning, so I appreciate that very much. And we'll be in touch really soon. And good luck as this news comes out and you continue operating your business and keep moving forward with everything that you've got going on over there.
Great. Thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
Lovely lives. Lovely lives.
And we're back.
Oh, shit.
So do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Let's bring Johnny
And
back.
we're back.
Yeah. Because we were going to have Johnny Mac come up. And usually we have these really cool earpieces that go into our ears.
Oh, you don't have one?
No, none of us do.
Oh.
So we're going to hear it in the background.
Oh, I got you. Well,
I was about to be Brandon for a second.
You were?
Yeah.
where's Johnny?
Almost. You're so close.
Yeah, I was really
so close.
Is he there?
There he is.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
What's going on, John?
Not much.
So we're going to start with some GGITA. Because I remember
GGITA.
last time we had you on, you were saying this thing is going to go up or down and make a big move. And unfortunately, we went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it unfortunately for long holders, it moved the wrong way. So, if you remember the weekly chart I had, maybe I'll bring that up. We were set up well. And you could tell that the market expectation going into the news was good because we had a tick in volume here. So we had this very, quiet period here. Oh, you guys can't see my screen, or can you?
Yeah, all set, man.
Is this better? Now you can actually see what I'm looking at. Okay, you guys can see this chart okay?
Yep.
Okay, so going into the news, you can tell that the market kind of expected good news. There were some high expectations. Had this sort of low volume period described, a long period of consolidation, then a spike in volume. We're testing this trend resistance we had in place for 9 months. Yeah, as described before, that the market is probably going to either really like news or it's going to move one with the other big because it's had this all day, and unfortunately, it moved the wrong way. It appears that the market sort of underwhelmed news. So, and that confused a lot of people. People thought this is good news. Why is it selling? It all comes back to market expectations. And if the expectations of the market are really high and you meet, it tends to move down. So, got this very ugly candlestick, big expansion in volume, big sell-off, and we golfed all this trading from the last week. And obviously the price has adjusted substantially since. So here's the daily chart. Two big really red candles and over 2 million volume on each day. It's a gap down here. The market tried to rally a little bit here. You see that the sellers were still aggressive, so that the attempt to push back pulled off aggressively. So again, another big candle, and it wasn't until late in the week we got a pushback. And what I was looking back for was, let's form a lower wick where the sellers push the stock down, and then we get buyers come in and focus on them. So we did get that. We get the buyers buying this. But it wasn't all good news because, the stock was not able to hold gains as well. So I think we have a very clear resistance level around the 92, 93 level. We can see here triple tops, so same high, 3 days in a row. We rejected off that. Made another step here. The buyers rejected that, and we're back down. So, what I would be looking for is, as a whole, and I am along the stock as disclosure, I have not sold shares, whether that's not, who knows. But essentially, what we're looking for here is, let's see the stock form a higher low than where it is right now. So as long as we can a higher low, or that's that's a good sign. And then we want to see it beat this resistance would be what I'm looking for. Form some sort of higher low in here, show that the bears run the bulls over again, and then see if we can rally and push back here. And whether that push come on news or whether sort of organically before news comes out, it's hard to say. I don't know the timing of when we see some results. But it is a little bit, if we look sort of dialed down the hourly chart, we see most of the high volume candles have been on down. Stock is pushed down on high volume. It tends to cover. The volume is not as high, and we also see that this rounding behavior. It's not really what I want. Didn't really get a really sharp. You could argue sharp recovery, but when you compare, for example, what we saw last year went from around 5.77. I think rebounded within a couple into mid $3 back up to 5 within about 2. And we're not really seeing that. Oh, you guys, the audio's bad.
It's just choppy, dude.
Yeah.
It's I think it's your connection, man. But this is some amazing TA.
Is this audio?
Yeah, the audio's is going here. Sorry, Johnny Mac. I mean, last time we had you on, it was fantastic. I'm seeing some comments in our FTMIG live page saying this guy's really good. They wanted to get over there, but unfortunately, what we're having right now is the connection issues that we were having earlier today. Probably on internet or whatever it be, but that's one of the things for live broadcasting. Everyone wants to get thrown at you, but it's a shame. We really wanted to be able to hear this, but right now it's just every other word is unfortunately getting chopped off. So we'll have to look for another time to bring you on, my good man.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate it very much. We always appreciate it. Maybe we'll do a Facebook Live with Johnny Mac just the same and be able to go over those for a little bit. Technology.
Oh, man. Can we try to call him back?
Yeah.
He's so good with TA.
Call him on your phone.
He's actually one of the
Brandon, you
better
can do
people.
everything, man. Can you
I can't
Can you
be Johnny
explain
Mac.
that, please?
I can't
Come
be
on.
Johnny Mac. Although a lot of the stuff that I've been learning recently and just over the last little while has been from traders like Johnny Mac, people who've been doing this for a really, really long time. They've been studying it. They've been through many, many different years of ups and downs.
I mean,
love learning
the
from
charts or the chats that you've been talking, and you feel like
The
you know what
Bollinger
you're
Band
talking
squeeze?
about. Yeah, you feel like you know what you're talking
Every
about.
single time you see a breakout, it's a Bollinger Band squeeze now. But yeah, no, it's tough when you've got such great people coming on, but unfortunately, technology just doesn't work there. But I'm sure we'll be able to get him back on in the near future.
Yeah, we did
for
a test
bunch
with him. We did a test with him earlier at work. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving on.
Yeah. Internet, what can you do? But he was talking about G-John, and I remember when you first brought it up, how it was consolidating for a really long time, and it was either going to break very positively or very negatively. If you're an investor or you're looking at the chart, it clearly did one of those.
Yeah, it went the wrong way, man.
Went the wrong way?
Next.
Yeah.
Tired of talking about that one, eh? Yeah.
I just think expectations are off. I mean, people are expecting a buyout this year. It's probably not going to fucking happen here.
Well, that's one of the things too, right?
It's not going to happen.
When expectations get away from themselves, it's kind of like a lot of these cannabis stocks that we're in right now, where some of them are incredible companies, incredible management. They're going to be good companies, but their share price has just gotten so far away from them. As James is pulling a Pink Panther in the background.
We need a video camera that can, because people walk by here. Yeah. There's a guy that walked by with a Leaf Toronto Maple Leafs blazer there.
But the share prices, they just got away from themselves. You have to manage people's expectations, because when it starts running like this, when it isn't absolutely incredible,
But a good that's when IR can help with that too, though.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm actually messaging with Johnny Mac right now.
Yeah.
Let's try to get him back on, because he's so good.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We're gonna try this again.
Let's try it again.
Might as well, because I wanted to hear what he had to say.
Studio.
Let's see if they're listening to us in the background. Give another call in.
Johnny Mac,
if
you can call back in
before.
Yes, right.
Worked perfectly.
Okay.
Let's just see what's going on in the stock world then.
Namaste is still killing it.
Is it?
After being absolutely destroyed, 231.
Really?
You have them at like what, 24 cents? That's like a fluctuation of how much?
What are they at?
200%?
What are they at?
Yeah, that's a lot.
They're at 231. They've actually really had a really nice rebound there. A lot of things are flat. NBUD. I know that's talked about Northbud. That's talked about here. We interviewed their CEO, what, 2 weeks ago now?
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're ripping almost 10% up now. Not too much red today. There's a few of them, but not overly, which is nice. But it's a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday was absolutely awful. If we could just check in with the studio, because we can't hear anything, we're going blind. If we're able to get him back on, so we'll try this again and see if we can make it work.
Can't try it again.
All right.
System is failing.
Well,
We like to have fun.
you're going to have to get up and do the TA.
I know. I'm not a Johnny Mac though. Johnny Mac looks at it in a certain way that I love listening to him, because afterwards I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll look for that next time. I'll look for that next time. Bolger band, Bolger band, Bolger band.
Zach's saying there's some insider selling on Canopy. Have you guys heard about this? Or?
Yeah, wasn't there 2 or 3 directors over the last couple of days? I don't think it was something really significant though, but I think it was definitely, people are noticing it. It was in our chat rooms, I think, earlier this morning.
Well, you got to look into if they take salaries and stuff, right? You got to dig into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't, Zach. I'm not familiar with it, so I don't want to comment on it too much.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's interesting when it comes to insider selling though, because there's a few things that, as investors, we see it and all of a sudden we start freaking out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if insider selling, like, how long do you want them to hold their shares before they sell? If they've been holding Canopy since it was 50 cents or $1, and they've been in it for 4 years, and they're selling some now because of all the hard work they've done over the last 4 years, and they want to be able to obviously sell it for 60 some odd dollars, why wouldn't you? Why is it? Well, if they unload their position and then something negative happens, yeah, that's an issue. But if they're
I'd
just
probably
selling,
sell a little bit myself.
well, why wouldn't you? We're human. If you're looking at, you're on
don't know if I
millions
could
of
have waited
dollars.
that long.
What, do you want to just keep it there because you're so scared to sell a few? So that's why I don't think. I think we need to change our mind in that. If an insider is selling a little bit, if they've been working for years and they've been working their ass off, they haven't had a vacation in 2 years, so they're building a company
Yeah, but
for you to make money.
You got to
why
look
can't
into
they?
it more. You got to. Do they take salaries? Like, there's a lot of things to it, right? But usually, a short campaign will use that type of stuff to put fear into the market.
Always. That's what I'm saying right now. I think we overthink that so much unless they're unloading their position. If they're unloading their position and selling right into the bid and they're just getting rid of it, that's a whole other thing. You're laughing though.
I'm laughing because there's someone else in the background that's.
We have too many
making
distractions today.
Yeah.
Too many distractions.
Yeah.
Everyone has a right to sell.
There we go.
Yeah.
Agreed with me. But it's foolish though. I think we've been programmed to think a certain way for such a long time, where some of these ways of thinking are just, they're wrong.
Why don't we read through some of the comments that are coming in here, even if they're negative? Let's read them out.
Go.
All right. Karl Boyd, I really like your hat. Where can I buy one?
Wait. That's where you start with? Of all the comments, you're like, even if they're
It's
bad
like
or not.
the 30th one down. He found that one.
Karl Boyd is the most amazing person in the entire world, and I love this hat. I love all shares matter. He searched for 2 hours to find it.
Yeah.
Next week's going to say,
So
Brandon
Zach's
guy's an idiot.
saying 3 or 4 guys, key guys, unloaded 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different sometimes.
You know, it's like-
Depends though.
Yeah.
Maybe they're moving on. Are you going to stick? How long have you, like when you were growing up, how long do you stay with a company sometimes?
Well, I'm the wrong guy because I don't.
How long do you, you're the wrong guy, you've been like 19 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for myself, when it comes to around that 1 or 3 year point, like you want to move on, you want to try different things, especially if you're lower management of any kind, you want to maybe have your own company or do your own things. You have to look into the whys. If there's 3 or 4 of them all at the same time, that's sometimes a sign of something, who knows? But at the end of the day, they built that company for you to make all that money. Why shouldn't they be able to make money as well?
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Well, this Chris guy just cashed out 22 million, so nice on.
That is, his life has changed.
You never know. Like, you just can't read into this stuff. You don't have enough of the story.
Yeah, you don't know what he did with
You
it.
can often just scare yourself out of it, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people think Canopy's going to go over $100 later this year. So, you know, I mean, I'm just speculating. I'm just saying.
And the way these markets are going, I would not be surprised. You know, it's especially if you start hearing about Canopy Health, or you start hearing what they have under that umbrella, because there's a lot of things going on. with Canopy Health. One of those drugs could easily be $1 billion drug. Look what happened to, was it Epiliox? I'm saying that incorrectly, GW Pharma. They just had that CBD drug. I can't remember if it's synthetic or not, but they had that going. That's going to be massive for GW Pharma. Imagine now, Canopy Health, they had over 29 patents pending the last time I checked. I think that's way more than that now. One of those could be a massive drug or medicine that you'll find in
VRT, they're waiting for things. Calaterra, they're waiting for things.
Tetra Biopharma, like, all of these plays can easily be big, but the unfortunate part is that there's a lot of this potential baked into share prices, and there's so little room for failure in these share prices. That's where you have to, really watch.
So, are you bullish or bearish on this sector, Brandon?
I'm still 100% bullish overall on cannabis as a sector. I am bullish on stocks, on certain stocks in the cannabis market. I am a bit bearish in some of these things. I think some of them are just too far ahead of where they should be right now. But
so, hold on.
I said that for the longest time. Look what keeps happening.
Do you think that they're going to have a run into January?
In the winter, I do think I do think so, because I think here's a scenario that I think is most likely, the one that I've chosen in my head after thinking about it so often. October 17th happens. I truly think there's going to be a selling news. I do. And you're going to see a little bit there. They're going to try to instill fear in some sort of way. I think yesterday was a prelude to that. It's getting you already thinking about it. That happened yesterday, and now you're thinking, oh no, is it over already? It's a prelude. I think that happens, you start seeing share prices come down a little bit, but as we said earlier, it takes one Diageo, it takes one Pepsi, it takes one large company to come in, a bank, and say, here's $100 million, like you were saying, here's $100 million to future investment.
Could be more than that.
It could be way more than that.
Yeah.
All it takes though is a massive thing that all of a sudden, we're back on. So I think it's going to pull back. How long, I don't know, but I'm convinced between now and January, it is much more likely a massive catalyst happens, opposed to it just being the sky is falling, cannabis is over.
Yeah.
Cannabis hasn't even begun starting.
Well, then we get to see into revenues as well, right?
Yeah.
So
cannabis
that'll help companies way more than most things.
Revenues, actually being able to raise money. Everything's been dilution.
100%.
There's this crazy idea that sometimes you can actually use revenue to pay for things.
Well, we might see a lot of financings here.
Yeah, I still think why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you know it's one of those last times to do a really big raise, because in the future, a year or two from now, if these companies just go to a bank, and for the most part, a bank will give them a loan, don't you think they'd go for a loan than diluting their company?
Yeah, of course.
If they didn't care about the share structure overly, like maybe you're like, you know what, I don't want that loan because I don't want the interest rate on it. I don't mind writing 100 million shares basically for free, other than the cost of raising that money. Maybe companies still do that, but I think you're going to see so much less of that.
Yeah.
And we're going to go back into this whole, we've mentioned, you and I mentioned this last week, balance sheets. We're going to go back into the realm that people can be like, oh yeah, this makes sense again. Because up until now, I mean, sometimes it makes sense, but mostly it's just like, it's all speculation. How many articles can you have? How many videos can you have? Where are you? What stock boards are you on? And that's what's driving so many prices right now.
I can accept. Good answer.
Great conversation back and forth.
Good for you.
I accept.
What else is there to say?
I know.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, we've been talking about this a long time. We're speculators. Well, how are we approaching this? Like, I have stopped buying larger companies. They're great. But I'm buying these smaller ones. I'm looking at the ones where I'm like, okay, so you have the same grow facility as this one. Okay. You have very similar revenue to this one. Okay. I know your management because you used to be management of this company. That's already like, okay. Your market cap is 20 times smaller and your share price is under a couple of bucks. I'm buying you. I'm buying that person. I'm buying like someone like Evenco. I look at them, and that's what I think. I think they've got over a 200,000 square foot facility. They've got they're going to have a 1 million square foot facility completed by next year. A lot of these things are already funded. I want to say they're fully funded, but I have to double check. I don't want to say the wrong thing there. But you've got this, and then look at their market cap and look at their share price. It doesn't make sense. Are they a Canopy? No. Let's be realistic. Canopy and Aurora are going to be massive companies. Look how big and look at all the different.
Well, they could be if they get bought.
But look at the difference between they could be Canopy if they get bought. But look at the market cap and the difference. those are the companies I'm looking into, because I think those ones will weather this storm that we're about to go through a lot more than these other ones that were pushed up by traders and banks.
Well, Jason mentions, don't forget about the cannabis market in the U.S.
Yep. U.S.
Yeah.
Cannabis is massive.
So next week we're going to have a few companies on from the U.S. market. That's what we're working on right now. So we know that we want to be looking there and we want to learn.
Yep. And it makes sense. Jason's also saying, any comments on new? I believe that's what James was speaking about last week, where, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, because I see your comments here. I'm almost positive they're the company that has a formulation or ability to stabilize cannabinoids in drink format. I believe it's there. I'll see a yes or no in a second. But if that is, that's interesting, because one of the things that James was talking about on the show, I think it was yesterday, was that when you have CBD and THC, when you have these cannabinoids and they go into a drink, they go into liquid form, they start morphing into each other and then they start changing properties. The same reason why edibles are not being allowed in Canada, one of the reasons is because when you bake it and when you mix it, it actually changes the chemical compound of cannabis. So now what you thought was 10% THC going in could be anywhere from 8%, 12%, 15%. And you don't have
not regulated.
So if you look into Washington and Colorado, they had, in Colorado specifically, they had to declare a state of emergency because people were buying these candies and these lollipops and just getting wrecked. Like they couldn't move, they're going to the hospital because it's like, yeah, alcohol's not bad for you, but if you drink a fifth of vodka, damn you to drive. No, neither of you listen. Okay,
no, we've
you get wrecked if you drink it that quickly.
Yep.
Cannabis is the same. These things are in moderation. So if it is, I didn't get a yes or no yet, but I'm almost positive if that's the case, it's an interesting company to look into. I haven't yet. I've been too busy.
Yeah,
I have
there's so
20 different new companies every single day, and that's a whole other thing. When someone like ourselves who spends so much time in this industry, and we sometimes look at like, yeah, I've never heard of them before. What do you think normal retailers are thinking? There's so many companies. They're all saying they're going to be
a lot of these companies need to be uplisted, so you get more investors in. That's what we need to do. We're diluting the market with all these cannabis companies. You need more investors coming in, right?
Yeah. You know how you fix it as well?
Sorry?
You know how you fix it? Bring them on our show. Bring them on our show. We'll talk about them. We'll dive into them a little bit more. Bring them on the Midas Letter. Talk about them, dive into them more. That's how you start to open these companies, because there could be 15. They're all doing the exact same thing. The one who's going to win is the one where more people know that they're that good.
Yeah.
People don't know you're the best. You're not the best. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of TGIF?
They just switched over to 1933.
Do we know why they switched that name?
The end of prohibition for alcohol.
Yeah, it's end of prohibition for alcohol. Just brand change. A lot of these companies are doing brand changes. I liked TGIF. It just made sense.
Great.
Well, there you go. Right? They had brand awareness, and now they're But hey,
we're not close to it. We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know why. But I like these American plays, and I think what we need to do is start diving into a few over the next couple of weeks, because these ones, they have revenue. They're in legal states. They're selling right now. Although they're not global, and although they're limited in certain ways, they've got some amazing sales already. But who knows? Maybe we go into rec. Some of our companies start having rec sales, obviously.
Oh, of course.
And then you start seeing the revenue soar as well. I'm incredibly excited about it.
Like Ianthus.
Ianthus, yeah, you were looking into them earlier, actually.
Yeah, they're huge.
Well, we've been in them. Like last year, we were investing in them as well.
They're in, 6 different states now. Mm-hmm. They've got so many dispensaries going on. But it's all medical. Wait till that recreational comes in.
Exactly.
They'll be laughing.
And that's why I think even for our companies, let's judge them next year when we start having recreation sales and we have our system in play. Yeah. And every year you're bringing a new element of the sector. You asked me if am I bearish or bullish on cannabis. I'm so bullish on the sector. I think it's going to be amazing for the Canadian economy. I think it truly will change it. It already has. These American companies are coming to Canadian exchanges to go public and use our exchange. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
To come here first. We're the ones raising capital. We're the with the know-how.
Yeah, but my point is that just because we had a couple down days here in the market, and now the sentiment is like, people are bearish. Like, oh, we're gonna have this big sell-off. We weren't saying that last week when things were going green.
Yeah.
No.
It could be just. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it could just be.
But how much more could some of these companies even sell off?
Well, and the thing is, but a lot of the juniors, a lot of the small caps haven't really had a big run.
No.
You know, you look at the mid caps. Some of them have, some of them haven't. So are we? The question is, are we seeing the separation now, or is there still going to be a big run? I think there's still going to be a big run. I think there's some catalyst coming. You know, the next month or so. I think this market still goes silly, and then after that, I think you got to be very, very careful. Once there's a big sell-off,
they might go poo.
They might go poo.
Yeah. But a couple other things
Hey,
here.
we all have our own opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the thing. The amount of people we talk to, whether they're bankers or they're actually in the industry, they're consumers, they're investors, everyone's giving different answers, because at the end of the day, most of us are flat out guessing. What we're doing with the most information we can possibly get, it's a guesstimation. Because at the end of the day, so many different things can happen. We could be flying in Canada and all of a sudden Trump says, you know what, we're taking cannabis off Schedule 1 drug. Don't you think that'll completely deflate the Canadian stock market temporarily to rush into American cannabis companies?
Here's what I think. I think the US market is clearly bigger than Canada, but we have an advantage, right? So as Jason's pointing out, California is a bigger market than all of Canada. Okay, fine. But our companies can go and do some damage.
Oh yeah.
Right? They can be funded. So when that market starts to open up, we know Cannabis is not going to touch it until things are changed, but they can go down there and eat up a lot of that market share.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the opportunity you have. If I'm looking at Canadian cannabis companies, I'm looking at them being big global dominant players.
Yeah, and not a rec market here.
Either you have that vision or you're going to be a little bit like, ooh, this is looking very toppy. You know what I mean? And maybe it is. Look, it's just speculation. But why wouldn't you look at it that way?
Yeah.
And globally is where I think we still immensely stand out, because like you said, the US economy, massive, largest economy in the world. And the fact that they already have edibles, they're allowed different marketing, they don't have such stringent rules like we have, they have a massive advantage in that way. But when you're talking about the medical side of cannabis and how Germany and all these other countries are starting to allow it, they're allowing medical and they're bringing it into their medical community, but they almost have no real competition for local growers. I don't even know if some of them allow it. So they're importing everything. Well, who do you think is exporting to them? Canada is.
Here's a thought. Just a random round table thought. Or I shouldn't say round table.
A rectangle thought.
So the CSC companies can go and do business in the US.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what if a bank comes in, complete speculation, and backs a big, makes a big deal with a CSC listed cannabis company, and they go into the United States and start buying shit up?
Can they?
Well, you know that Cannabis not going to touch it, right?
Yeah.
They can't, and they
get removed off the New York
But
Stock Exchange.
they have people that are sitting there and eyeing stuff up.
Yeah.
Right. So what if a Canadian company that's listed on the CSE that has that advantage and they can do that? What are we not seeing here? I mean, I'm probably missing something, but just roll with that thought. What do you think?
That's hard to say, because if it's a large bank, they're immediately, I think there's going to be huge pressure against them from large entities in the States to say, what are you doing? Get out of here. I do, but I'm speaking a little bit ignorantly because I'm not a big bank. I don't know how those relationships work, but there's a reason why they've stayed out, and a lot of it's politics.
Well, if I'm a CSC listed company, right, and I can't get on the big board, maybe that's a move that I have to make.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I'm just
Would you take that risk?
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? It's the risk.
That's him saying, yes, I would.
Well, I mean, it's easy for me to say I would, but I mean, no, obviously, if you're a company.
Whatever happens, you just listen to
Yeah, it's a risk.
Take it the right way.
It's clearly a risk.
Yeah.
But it's, it's a ballsy one.
Yeah, but I'm seeing Zach in here as well, talking about first mover advantage, and absolutely. But I spoke about this last week with Cody Krubia, Weekend Limited. They're still waiting to go public. I spoke with him about second mover advantage. where Canadian companies have spent so much money and gotten so far in debt, and their share structure and their debt of their company just is getting less and less attractive as they keep growing. They had to. They need to do that to play. That was part of the rules. When you look at these other companies, say it's an American company, and their market cap isn't that large, and they didn't have the same barriers, the same things that we were dealing with, or maybe it's just, again, I said even Canadian companies, the ones who came in afterwards. Do you not think that in the States, if they were to make it federally legal, then all of a sudden, they have so much more money in that economy. They have so much more ability in the economy. Do you think that we had a big enough head start with the likes of Freya, Canopy, or like the massive, massive market caps? Do we have enough of a head start to combat the States?
I think so.
That's hard.
It is.
I think there's a lot of money on the sidelines just waiting.
Oh yeah, but waiting for what? You know,
So
like
they can't take the risk like you guys.
can these
pointed out.
companies make deals with all these other ones for a certain amount of time so that U.S. can't come in and just take it?
Yeah, it's
If you got a good IP, you've got something.
Yeah.
Got
and
some good
it's
tech.
hard. I mean, look at Green Growth Brands. We've seen that name going around recently, and I've been looking into them. Green Growth Brands is backed by one of the richest American families out there. The Hozards. I'm mixing it up.
Victoria's Secret,
I wasn't Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie, and Finch.
So they can create. They create brands.
They create brands,
Yeah.
and they've got the money, and they're absolute. Did you just break the chair?
Yeah, something like that.
That's how much he doesn't like it.
I hate it.
But these guys are juggernaut families. These families are not just like, they're not millionaires. They're not even your normal billionaire. These are the people who help run the American economy. And now they're entering in cannabis. They had a $100 million raise. It was way over subscribed. When you have that much influence, that much money,
You look like a politician with the finger moving all the time.
you got to talk with your hands. Didn't Trump teach you
If you
anything?
do this one more time,
Yeah.
you're running for office.
I can never be a politician. But back to the point, with the points. That's massive, though. Can we compete with those? Can our Canadian companies actually compete with like a massive family like that with all the money? And they're stealing our know-how. I don't mean stealing. Like we're teaching them how to do it.
They just
from the
have
PSI.
better branding. I mean, they know how to
Better
do it.
branding, better money, larger influences.
Better money?
But they're coming here first.
American
right?
dollar is way better than the Canadian dollar. I'm Canadian. I love our country, but our dollar is terrible.
Oh yeah.
Purposely. If you know anything about economics, you can't have a strong Canadian dollar. It hurts our exports. When that happens, our GDP is negative,
Eddie.
and that goes back to cannabis. Eating cannabis.
Yeah, we're live.
This is how we do lives.
You're live or a live?
I think I'm talking too
both.
much economics here.
Yeah, we just lost you.
I know. Eddie walks
That's
by and
right.
all of a sudden like, yeah, Brandon, you're making actually a pretty good point. And anybody in economics, I got you. I'm making a good point, and it's just gone. It's gone. And it's gone. Great episode.
Well,
Well, I think that's all for today. It's unfortunate we didn't have Johnny Mac come on here. He just got some great stuff on there, but we'll get it back. We'll figure out this whole internet thing. If we have to pay for his internet, we'll get it up to a gigabyte.
check it out.
Make it work.
Listen, somebody was, I think it was Ryan was saying, can you give me a story for GGI, even if you got to make it up? I'm not going to make this up. There is an anonymous person, well, there's someone that we call Bert, calls himself Bert actually. It looks like he's on the bid on GGI at 164. It's probably going to be a 50,000. Let me check out the order here.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, he's got a 78,300 share order
Is
at
it
164. No, it's not fake.
It's real.
It's real. I mean, speculation, but no, that's a Burt bid right there.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it. You know, they got 3 drills going. I'm pretty sure up there, right where the that ice was receding.
Yeah,
you know?
all 3 were positioned.
Yeah, and they've got massive sulfides outcropping. I mean, these are good signs. I really just think with GGI, I think, you know, a lot of people's expectations, including mine, we're up here. We've just been smacked big time.
Oh yeah.
Right? You know, a lot of people thinking it's going to get bought out this year. And you know what? Look, it could happen. If they get into something really, really big where they're drilling now, yeah, you know what I mean? It could happen. But I just don't think that the expectation should be there.
Yeah.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were overextended on the stock. because of those expectations. So when the market sold off, you've got people freaking out, or they've got too much money in it, and they make emotional decisions because they can't afford to lose it.
Yeah.
These are not good things, So I think if you're in Garibaldi, I think it's headed towards being a mine. A lot of smart people do, much more educated than me. But you got to look at next year, and who knows, maybe the year after.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to allocate your portfolio to meet those types of expectations. And some people have had to make adjustments,
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. You got to have expectations manageable, and that's why I'm kind of worried when some of these stocks have such high expectations, because there's so little room for failure built into the share price, built into people's expectations.
Bert's got 2 bids now.
Ooh.
He's got a 50,000 and a 78,000.
Where's your 100,000 one? I thought you told me you were going to do that one.
Listen, I wouldn't put a fucking order up like that. Everyone's going to front run this guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
Or it's,
unless you want people to front run you,
exactly.
then
Or you've artificially created a floor for something that you have holdings in.
Exactly.
So then people are going to front run you, and you're hoping that you've built a floor.
Listen, I want to let's talk about this. Let's go for it.
Oh, we almost finished.
Don't give me a Charlie horse on air.
100% no.
Just get an elbow there. Boom. No, I remember when the stock was selling off. Let's just talk about how you buy and sell in certain situations, right? If you're trying to get out of a stock, and you've got, let's just say you got 50, 60,000 shares, you can't throw up an order on the ask of 50,000. It's not, you can, it's definitely not the smartest thing to do, because when other people are looking to get out, they're going to front run your order, which means you're probably going to have to take less money. And same thing if you're on the bid. If you're throwing up on a stock like this, a 50,000 order or 100,000 order, people are going to see that, and they're going to jump ahead of you, which will move the price. So if that's your intention to move the price, fine. But if you're actually trying to get filled, it's definitely not the smartest way to go about it.
That's a good iceberg orders.
It's just not. It's
Smarter
a lot
way
of
around it.
people that are newer to this stuff. They do that. You know what I mean? And I don't think they understand what can happen. Right?
I think who you're talking about understands, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Do you agree with me or not?
No, I do. And that's why you should be looking at time and sales as well. Do I have that up here? If you want to do one last thing here on my my NDI.
We're at 174 now.
Are we? We're moving, eh?
Yeah, but see, everybody's front loading the bid, right?
I don't know if they're going to go to my NDI or not. If you're listening,
he's moving the market. This guy is moving the market. Now, is he trying to get filled, or is he trying to move the market? Thanks for the message about that bid.
Let's see. Hey, here we go. So we're looking down at 240,000 at 126. So I don't think you're going to get filled there. So if the camera's looking, you'll see $1.64. You'll see about a quarter way down the left-hand side of the top screen. You see 128,400 shares on the bid. If you're investing and you're not looking at L2, you don't see any of this. All you see is 73 and 76.
Right. And a buddy of mine just messaged me that the short data is out on GGI, and it's not significant. It's just,
really?
It's just
I wonder if it's because they already had their play. I mean, they went from $3 down to $1.50.
Yeah. Now, see, our buddy Johnny Mack was going to get into the short stuff and how to, a lot of people don't know how to look at the positions when they come out, including myself. So I was looking forward to learning. But yeah, look at that.
Well, you have a massive bid at 169.
Let me do.
Oh, there we go. Are you pulling an Ed? Get up here. You're pulling an Ed?
So this is your bid, and you want to get into the stock. This is probably not going to fill, right? Yeah. So you're going to front run this, even this bid here. That's why you're seeing this jump here.
Yeah.
Look at it right down here. This entire jump, that happened because of these bids here. Correct.
Because if I'm looking at that and I want in and it's starting to get really hectic and crazy, I'm going to bid at 170 because I know I'm going to get filled before the 51,000. Because you could also go here.
That's so smart.
But what you should be doing, unless you're trying to move the market, is if you have these bids. What's happening here?
I went to order by order.
Okay. So if you have these bids, if you're layering it over, if his intention is really to get filled, the best way to, in my opinion, to do this is to have 5,000 share orders, multiple ones, over a couple days. Right? unless he knows something that we don't.
Yeah.
And there's something coming out here in the next couple of days, which people speculate that's why you see these orders, right?
Yeah, and for anyone who's wondering, now you don't see you'll see every single order at 169 or 168 or 167, so you can see where your order is, because you see on the buy, you see these little broker numbers. You can see like 007 is up top,
yeah,
200,
so
that's TD.
So that's anonymous. This is TD, number 7. 79 is CIBC.
Yeah.
Number 2 is RBC.
And you can go through there and you start seeing, so you can see where your bid is if you're next in line to get filled or not. It's
so for
really
example,
helpful.
L2s, eh?
This
L2.
RBC, that could be the same buyer layering their bids.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're not moving the market.
Yeah. And you can also see on the side the time in sales. Time in sales over here. If it's red, that means slapping the bid. If it's green, you're slapping the ask.
Well,
and if it's white,
if you got
it's just the same price.
If you have Code Stream.
Is this strictly? I love this.
Well, yeah,
switch
that's
from
their
that. What was that company with the uncomfy couch that cost us some money? It's green. It's got 2 letters.
And a D in it, right?
Well, that was just
Right?
not what like football. I was trying to not say it, but okay, you said it. They don't have this. Not the same.
No,
I really love
no, it's
CodeStream,
not.
even though we have no affiliation with them whatsoever. If you're looking for something though, go with CodeStream. But it's nice.
So if you look now, this is pretty cool live. Look at that order moving up.
Yeah,
He's
so
moving up.
He's
that
literally
order
trying to move the
to
market.
169.
you're creating a floor. You're trying to create a floor.
Well, let's see if he gets filled. Let's see if someone takes him out.
And who's taking it all? It's a
lot of-
Anonymous
that's a
is buying
lot.
it.
Huh?
Anonymous is buying.
Yeah.
That could be anybody, by the way, but you have a reason why you're putting yourself into Anonymous.
So they left this bid and moved up.
And then if you go over
Pretty
here,
aggressive move, man.
if you go into house positions, see, so it's not cut off here. You can actually see who's doing all the buying and who's doing all the selling, where Anonymous, TD, and CIBC World Markets are really doing a lot of the buying, whereas the selling, TD, that's retail investors for the most part
With who?
through TD. Same three, actually. Same three are your main buyers and sellers, so it's not one overpowering the other one, but it's really interesting when you start seeing Anonymous, and you see Anonymous where it's like 60% of the selling volume and like 1% of the buying volume, like, uh-oh. Do they know something I don't know?
100% they probably
And
do.
it makes you think right away. But that's, again, why I'd love to have Johnny Mack. He does the house position, all that, very, very well. But, as investors, we continue to learn. We continue to grow. Went to 176,000 now at $1.69. So
That's
it's giving a really nice
6
floor
orders
there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see if this lights up green, it's really bullish. People are just slapping the ask, and it's just
This
starting
guy's
to push.
such a badass. Let me see a market buy.
Yeah, yeah, I know. clear off all the way to like 197 almost. Probably not.
Ah,
But gentlemen, we've run out of time.
No, we haven't.
We have 2 minutes.
So let's rock it out. 2
What are we doing
minutes.
for 2 minutes? 60
rock it
seconds.
out.
90 seconds. 120 seconds.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know how to.
So next
how many
week
seconds are in 2 minutes.
we gotta strive for a U.S. cannabis segment,
Yep,
right?
absolutely. We have actually have a lot of interesting companies coming on. A little bit lighter of a week this week, but next week, I think we have 4 or 5 wanting to come on next week, so I have to pick and choose or just put them all on.
I'm gonna bug our friend Johnny Mack
Yeah.
because we really need to get him on here. He's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got, I won't do the names, because you never know what happens within 7 days. But we've got a few
fair.
people looking to come on. It should be a good time.
We need to make
should
a
have a lot
shirt
of
that
fun.
says Form 9 that shit.
You're definitely going to have that by next week. This guy's one of those guys who does a shirt for everything.
Yeah, he's going to have a hat
Hashtag I'm making shirts.
that doesn't cast a shadow
Christmas
too
time
much.
in your stocking stuffers from Karl.
Yeah.
I got some good ones for you.
Yeah, you would.
All right. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
It's been
Good
good.
pleasure. It's been good. We had a few technical difficulties today.
Don't do that.
Thank you for everyone who stood by those. This is still getting it all figured out. When it comes to internet, I will say for myself personally, I am not in charge of the internet.
Yeah, sorry, Joe.
I will not take the blame. But we will make work with it.
We're outta here?
We make do with it. We're out of here. It's time for your favorite meal coming up.
Oh, we're going to the keg?
Brought to you by The Keg.
Oh, my. See you tonight.
We have no...